Good morning, my rogues. My name is Erin Rogoff, and I would like to welcome you all back to my booktube channel. To say I have been reading a lot is two things. One, a major understatement, and two, nothing new. Because I am always reading to my heart's content. I've been reading a whole bunch of books lately, starting with My Soul Farewell by Beth Revis, Lights Out by J.S. Donovan, just finished reading Plagueland by Alex Scarrow, which is amazing, oh my gosh. And I actually wanted to talk about 3 books that I have recently lost interest in, so if you like these books, this isn't an attack on you, okay? Opinions are not right or wrong, they just are, and these are my opinions. So let's start out with one of the Kindle books that I have, The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. It is a fiction, mystery, thriller novel, and when you read this book, you will make a lot of assumptions. You'll assume you're reading about a jealous ex-wife who's obsessed with her ex-husband's new girlfriend, and it's supposedly about a love triangle, but you have the right to assume nothing. Why did I lose interest in this book? I felt like it was a long dual narrative of mystery without the real action. All in all, I felt there wasn't enough to pull me into the story like halfway through the book. Because even though I read more than halfway through the book and stopped reading it, I just thought, is this book really worth it? I mean, a bunch of my Facebook friends were recommending the book and talking about it, and when I read it, I thought, okay, what do they exactly mean? Because I do not feel the same thrill that they feel about the book. And then another book that I have lost interest in is Tilt by Ellen Hopkins. It is a young adult fiction poetry novel, and it's about 3 teenagers with 3 different stories. Michaela is 18, who is over the top in love with a boy named Dylan, who loves her jealously. So when Michaela gets pregnant and decides to keep the baby, what will happen? And then another character is Shane, who's 16. He falls in love with his HIV-positive boyfriend, Shane, so will he accept a short romance with the love of his life, or will he just accept it and go about his life? I ship them so hard. I do not want to see the romance die, but I don't think I can necessarily handle reading the rest of the book just because of one of the reasons why I lost interest in it. But I'll get to that in a sec. The other character is Harley, who's 14. She falls for an older boy who hurtles towards self-destruction, so will she follow him or lead him into the light? That's one of the questions. Why did I lose interest in the book? I was actually really angry with tons of the characters, and just the way I was reading it, it bothered me so much that it wasn't even fun reading it anymore. So I am sorry for people who liked the book, because I'm not feeling the same pull that they felt towards the book, so that's not unfair, but it's sort of not my cup of tea, I guess. And then the character of Dylan, who got Michaela pregnant, she decided to keep the baby, but Dylan didn't want the baby. He should have thought of that before, so that got me really pissed off. And then Michaela and Dylan's guidance counselor at school told her that Dylan has a right to not want people to know that he got her pregnant. So the scene got me so steaming mad that I stopped reading right there. I'm like, reading the book, that scene happens, and I'm like, nope, F that, I hate it. So that isn't to insult Ellen Hopkins, because I love her books. I love Crank, Glass, Fallout, and Tricks, and Rumble, but I just couldn't deal with that book. And the surprising thing is, I was able to read Identical, which was supposedly even darker. So I am wondering what's going to happen with her other books that I have still yet to read. So there is actually a lot I'm not saying about Tilt by Ellen Hopkins, just because that is such a negative rant review that I don't want to have a negative effect on me any more than it already has. The third and final book we have on the list that I have lost interest in is After by Anna Todd. As you can see, I still have the bookmark in, because if I decide to read this book again, I don't want to have to read through the beginning and middle over again, because that is just a lot, to say the least. Anyway, After by Anna Todd is a fiction contemporary romance novel, and it's about this girl named Tessa Young, who's the typical good girl with a reliable boyfriend, whose name is Noah, and she has a controlling mother who dictates her daughter's life in every aspect, from start to finish. She's the character who I wish would burn in hell, and that is an understatement. So, when Tessa goes off to college, the only college that Tessa's mom allowed her to enroll to, she meets Hardin Scott, and Tessa's true self awakens and comes alive, and she falls for Hardin and his yo-yo romance. Why did I lose interest? This book was a bipolar romance, if you ask me. I mean, Hardin was nice to Tessa, then he was mean to her, then nice to her, then mean to her, and the romance just continued. And it was like, okay, when is he going to stop being mean to her and actually be nice to her and admit that he loves her? And then another thing, Tessa's mom kind of ruined the book for me just because she was so controlling to my liking. I mean, her character was a major factor in why I stopped reading the book. And just thinking about me in this situation, if you try to control this wolf, you will get the fangs and the wrath of the pack. I am serious. I mean, I can't understand how somebody could control their own child to try to live vicariously through them. I hate that idea. I hate that aspect in books, and that kind of ruins the book for me, even if it's a 5-star rating on Goodreads and everyone says it's amazing. If there's a character like that in the books, I will hate it. I mean, it is just so ridiculous. You messed up on your life in so many ways. Do not make your child live the life that you wished you could have in the first place. I hated it. So before I go viperous little demon girl on you, I will have to say goodbye for now. So, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to show some support, subscribe to my BookTube channel to get more videos like this, turn those notifications on to be notified when I have a new video up and running, and have a great day, everyone!